Nifon II redirects here. There was also a Nifon II, Metropolitan of Hungaro-Walachia. Nephon II and Nifon II, born Nicholas was Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople 3 times, from 1486 to 1488, from 1497 to 1498 and for a short time in 1502. He is honored as a saint in the Eastern Orthodox Church and his feast day is August 11th. Life. He was born in the Peloponnese Peninsula in southern Greece, of mixed parentage, his mother being a noble Greek lady and his father an Albanian. He was tonsured a monk at Epidaurus, taking the religious name of Nephon. He was involved in calligraphy and copying manuscripts. He then followed a monk named Zacharias and settled in the monastery of the Theotokos in Ohrid. When Zacharias was elected Archbishop of Ohrid, Nephon went to Mount Athos and there he was ordained a hieromonk. In 1482 he was elected Metropolitan of Thessaloniki, and at the end of 1486 he was elected Patriarch of Constantinople, supported by the wealthy rulers of Wallachia, who thus made their entry in the history of external influences on the Patriarchate's election process. After 18 months a scandal arose, which led to Nephon's removal. Specifically, the previous Patriarch Simeon I died without making his will. Iskander Bey, one of the sons of Simeon's main sponsor, Georgia Miradzes, had converted to Islam and was at the time the treasurer of the Sultan. He requested that all the inheritance of Simeon, which included also ecclesiastic items, should pass to the Sultan's treasury. To avoid this, Nephon pretended that a nephew of the deceased Patriarch was the legitimate heir, finding 3 monks that bore false witness. After discovering the truth, the Sultan Bayezid II confiscated the property of Simeon, punished the clergy involved in the scandal, and exiled Nephon. Nephon was exiled to some island in the Black Sea off Sisopol and was deposed in the first months of 1488. According to scholar Stephen Runciman, Nephon was a foolish and unsatisfactory patriarch. In summer 1497 Nephon was elected for the second time to the patriarchal throne, always with the support of Wallachia, 195, but his reign lasted only until August 1498 when he was overthrown by the young Wikimedia, who was supported by Constantine II of Georgia. 198 Nephon was sentenced to life imprisonment and exiled to Adrianople. So great was the reputation of Nephon that the voivode of Wallachia Radu IV the Great bowed down when he went to visit their jailed patriarch. Shortly after Radu IV obtained bail for Nephon from the Ottoman Sultan, Nephon moved to Wallachia, where he was given a warm welcome by the clergy and laity and where he immediately ordained 2 bishops. In 1502 the Holy Synod elected him Patriarch of Constantinople for the 3rd time and sent emissaries to Wallachia to inform him. However, Nephon resolutely refused the appointment and did not return to Istanbul. Between 1503 and 1505, Nephon de facto led the Church of Wallachia until he came into conflict with the prince. The conflict arose because of the intransigence of the Patriarch in refusing to celebrate the marriage of Radu's older sister Kalpi with the Moldovan boyar Bogdan Logothit, who had already been married. Threatened by Radu, Nephon gathered the people, made a speech, and excommunicated the groom. He also prophesied accidents, left the patriarchal vestments on the altar and departed the church, taking to a deserted hut. In order to avoid the outcry of the people, Radu tried to placate the old man with flattering words, promises and gifts and begged him to forgive his brother-in-law, but Nephon remained adamant and left for Macedonia, taking with him 2 of his students. In Macedonia he went through all the towns performing missionary preaching. On his return to Mount Athos he appeared unrecognizable to the monks of the monastery of Dionysiu, who initially thought him a simple herdsman. Nephon died in the monastery of Dionysiu on Mount Athos in 1508. Immediately after his death he was honored as a saint in many areas, and the Eastern Orthodox Church recognized him as a saint just 9 years later, in 1517, setting his feast day on August 11th. His relic is kept in a shrine in the monastery of Dionysiu, where there is a chapel in his name.